Ladies and pinto beans, it is another beautiful day here at the TechSource headquarters because today we'll be doing another PC build. But guys, we have a very special guest. The special guest today is the Aurora A280. I'm just kidding. It's obviously the RTX 3080 Ti. Can I please get a hallelujah in the comment section because this is my first ever 30 series Founders Edition card. I feel complete. So yeah, today we'll be doing an interesting PC build using Antec's new case. I've had this sitting in the office for about 3 to 4 months now. This is the Dark Cube, and it's a micro ATX case with 3 side panels. We got one on the front here, one on the top, and we got one in the back. Now, obviously these panels are tinted really dark. They're kind of like limo tints, so you can't even see through inside the case. So I'm not going to be focusing on aesthetics this time. I'm going to be going for all performance, but obviously we're going to throw in some RGB stuff inside just so, you know, there's a little bit of light showing through it, but the entire build will be focused primarily on performance. All right, let's take a look at the parts real quick, starting with the CPU 5900X. This is a 12-core, 24-thread processor. Obviously, we are pairing that with the RTX 3080 Ti. Damn, just saying that gets me moist. Cannot wait to get inside you. Yeah. All right, that's getting sidetracked over here. Moving on to memory, we are going with 32 gigs of HyperX Fury. I almost forgot the name of these. HyperX Fury Predators. We're throwing in 32 gigs, running at 3600 megahertz. Obviously, we have 4 DIMM slots from the motherboard, so I do want to occupy all 4 of them. I've used this in a build previously, and it's actually one of my favorite micro ATX boards currently, so that's why we're sticking with the Tough Gaming from Asus. And then, of course, powering the entire system is the Neo Echo from Antec as well. We have an 850 watt power supply that is fully modular, and it's also platinum certified. Storage, we're keeping things simple like always, so we're going with a 1 terabyte M.2 SSD. And yeah, that is it. These are all the parts we'll be going with. Let's get started. Oh, the brackets are removed from the last build. Okay. Oh, I just realized I don't even have a cooler for this build. Alright, whatever, we'll get to it. Let me get to it. So I've been reading the comment section in the last like 3 or 4 PC builds, and a lot of you guys are enjoying the vlog style PC building, but a lot of you don't like how shaky the camera is because obviously it doesn't have any built-in stabilization. So I'll do my best to try and keep the camera mounted. That way there is less shaking visible. I mean, I wouldn't mind hiring someone to hold a camera for me if you guys, if any of you live near LA and are interested and being my cameraman, do let me know. In terms of payments, maybe I can pay you guys in PC parts instead of actual cash. That would be interesting. 1 GPU should cover your 1 month salary. I think that's fair. Alright, so here's where I decide on what type of cooling I should go with. Either AIO or an air cooler, but I guess I can't really decide on that until I can see the inside of the case. So let's go and pop these off and see how much space I'm dealing with. So there aren't any thumb screws on here. I'm guessing they just snap off. Oh shit. Oh, check that out, guys. It's an inverted case. Oh, this makes things more interesting. I've actually never done an inverted build before, so I'm knocking out like 2 birds with 1 stone in this video. So inverted, for those of you that don't know, basically means the motherboard tray is flipped upside down. So the CPU is going to be on the bottom, and then the graphics card is actually going to be on the top. Oh, this is going to be even more interesting than I thought. Okay. So obviously with that configuration, the cooling configuration also changes because the airflow is going to be completely different now that we have the graphics card on the top. So by the looks of it, we only have space for a single 120mm fan in the back, and two 120mm fans in the front. So a total 3 fans only. So I guess with this type of configuration, I'll just go with an AIO. Let's go to remove the front panel. Oh, there's a tab down here. Oh, it just pops up like that. Oh, that's cool. Okay. I'm kind of digging this case. I don't know about you guys, but I'm getting these InWin vibes. Like, if InWin were to design the D-frame, but with like side panels, I feel like this is the type of design they would go with. Alright, here is the AIO that I'll be going with for the build. The Lee & Galahad AIO 240. I've never used this in a build, so perfect opportunity for this one. This does have 2 RGB fans, so in the spirit of consistency, I gotta stick to a Lee & RGB fan. So we'll be putting one of these for the back as well. Alright, we're not installing an Intel CPU, so we can remove the brackets. Whoa. Oh, that is weird. Let's insert the AMD bracket. I love that. Honestly, I feel like all AIOs should be adopting this method. A toolless, screwless installation for the AIO bracket is awesome. I almost forgot about the storage. So this is actually an interesting design choice. Asus decided to put the M.2 cover on the second M.2 slot instead of the top one. I don't know why they decided to do that, but since this M.2 drive actually doesn't look half bad with the old black PCB and sticker, I think we could just put this in the top, to be honest. Not that it's going to be visible anyways through the case, but we'll keep it on the top. Alright, so here's the front of the case. We're going to be mounting the radiator from the inside with the tubes on the top, and then we'll put 2 120mm fans in the front as intake, and this way the lights will be visible through the front grills as well. Alright guys, so I've just noticed one major flaw in the design of this case. So I want to be able to mount the fans on the front of the bracket because I just think it's going to look a lot better and cleaner. But unfortunately, there is no way for me to pass these cables through the bracket once the radiator is mounted. And let me show you why. So let's say I'm gonna mount the radiator from the inside, right? As you can see, it covers up all the holes. There's no way for me to pass the cable through the bracket and into the back of the case. The only way I can pass the cables is through these tiny little cutouts in the fronts. But the issue here is that they're in the front of the case. So I'm gonna have to run the cables through the front hole and then towards the back and into the fan controller, which makes absolutely no sense. I don't know if these were intentional or not, but it would have been nice to have these holes or these cutouts over here on the opposite side. That way the cable routing would have been a lot easier. You guys see what I'm talking about? Now I'm forced to route the cables through this side and towards the back, whereas if the holes were on this side, I could have easily just routed it much easier. It's time to put the power supply in before we do anything else. This is actually the first time I am not using custom cables in a build. Can you guys believe that? Can you guys believe that? Honestly, I haven't checked to see if this case supports a full-size ATX power supply. I guess we'll find out. I mean, it should, because they did send me this power supply to use in the build. So I don't think they would send me the wrong power supply. Thank you, Antec, so much for giving me a removable bracket. Oh my god, thank you. It's the small things, okay? Small things matter the most to me. This is the wrong side, isn't it? Yeah, it's the wrong side. Is this also the wrong side? It is, isn't it? There we go. Oh my god, guys. I am literally just finding out about this. I had no idea they sent in a different front panel with the case. Look at this. We have another tempered glass panel, you guys. So that makes a total of 4 if I do decide to go with this. Oh man, this changes things. I don't know what to go with now. Should I go with all glass or the mesh? What do you guys think? I think this will look amazing, actually. So many choices. Well, I only have 2 choices, but I don't know. You know what? I'll go with the mesh. Why not? Yeah, let's go with the mesh. All right, I think it's finally time to slide in the motherboard. This is gonna go upside down. This feels so weird. Alright, so I'm trying to decide how I should position the rear fan, either as intake or exhaust, because the entire airflow dynamic has changed since we are doing an inverted build. We do have 2 fans in the front as intake with the radiator, but then we got the graphics card on the top, and we all know hot air rises, and then we got the rear fan location, I guess, closer towards the bottom of the case, so it doesn't make sense going exhaust. Like if the fan grill was a bit closer to the top, I would make it exhaust, but because it's a bit closer, I guess, to the middle of the case, I think having 2 intake, or I should say 3 intake fans would make the most sense, and then we'll have everything else exhaust from the top. But then we got the graphics card upside down, so then it's pulling air from the top and outside the case. So this is definitely an interesting situation to be in. You know what, I'll put this as intake. We'll test the temps out, and if it's a bit toasty in there, I'll flip this to exhaust. You know what? Screw that, guys. I decided to add 2 more fans in the front for a push and pull configuration. That way it also looks more fuller inside the system, and I'm gonna swap this fan for exhaust. Alright, now that is looking like a complete build. Since we have 2 additional fans on the inside, the RGB lighting from that's going to illuminate from the inside as well. So it's not going to be just pitch black. But yeah, only thing left to do is hook up the pump, install the graphics card, and finish up the cables, and we should be good to go. This is much harder to do in a vertical position. And I'm using my left hand. I'm also getting good at spreading thermal paste, as you guys can see. So the cooler comes with this magnetic cap that you can place on top of the AIO pump to kind of cover up the logo. I don't know why anybody would want to cover that beautiful logo. Oh, actually, you know what? That looks a lot better. Let's stick with the cap. Alright guys, so I hooked up most of the cables. The only thing missing is the graphics card on the top. But before I install that, I do want to take this time and hook up a few of these RGB crystal LED strips I picked up from Amazon. I think they're gonna look amazing inside the system, especially with the tinted side panel. There's gonna be just enough RGB inside the build. In combination with the memory sticks and the fans, I think it's going to look fantastic. It's funny how I mentioned at the beginning of the video how I'm not going for an aesthetic build, and then slowly but surely I'm tossing all of these RGB products inside. I guess I can't really escape the RGB. RGB is life, what can I say? RGB is life. Apparently these are magnetic. I can snap these on wherever I want, but I think it'll look really cool if I can place one here. Oh yeah, that is gonna look insane. All right, ladies and gentlemen, it is now time for the main event of the evening, the RTX 3080 Ti. Been waiting for this moment for a while. Oh my god. Yes, you're so precious. Oh, I'm gonna do so many dirty things to you. Like we're gonna benchmark for 30 minutes straight. You're gonna beg me not to stop. Oh yeah, look at that. Okay, I'm not gonna try and even flip this thing. I know I've tossed GPUs in the past, but not for the Founders Edition. I'm not gonna risk it. Oh, what? Oh my god, don't tell me there's not gonna be enough space. Oh my god, don't tell me, please. Don't tell me this isn't gonna work. Okay, I think we got it, ladies and gentlemen. Oh no! I can't put it on the top PCI slot. The tubes are coming in contact with the GPU. Oh god, this is not what I expected. You know what, let's put it on the bottom one. I can't see anything. Modern problems require modern solutions. Let's go ahead and flip this upside down. Okay, now I think I can get this done. That's not gonna work, is it? Nope, nope, it is not. It is not gonna work. God damn it! The GPU is at an angle because it can't sit flat against the glass. Unfortunately, this does not work. So, okay. You know what, guys? I still want to do a push and pull configuration. So I think the best solution here is to flip the radiator. That way the tubes are coming out from the opposite direction. And then I'll have space to mount the graphics card on the top PCI slot. So yeah, let me get that done and I'll be right back. All right, let's try this one more time. Please. Oh my god, yes. Yes, I love that sound. Oh my god, that is beautiful. That is such a beautiful build. I'm actually impressed. Damn. I did this? All right, so here's a part I don't like when it comes to the Founders Edition cards. You have to use this splitter. Now, I'm no manufacturer by any means, but I feel like adding that in the front or the center of the card is the dumbest thing I've seen aesthetically. Why couldn't they like add it on the side over here or maybe in the back? I don't know. Like I said, there's probably a reason why they put it in the front, but this is gonna look so damn ugly. I mean, I guess it's not too bad. Luckily, it works really well with this case because it's inverted and I can kind of tuck away the cables near the top of the case and you can't really see it from the front. So yeah, I take back what I said. This is actually, this is fine. This is fine. All right, ladies and gentlemen, it is finally complete. And I gotta say, I kind of impressed myself, I'm not gonna lie. Originally, I just wanted to build a full performance PC and not worry about aesthetics, but then it slowly became this hybrid system that also looks as good. So here we go. Actually, before I turn it on, let's do the final peel. Oh, I forgot to put the front panel on, but it's okay. I'll put it on after. Oh, Jesus. I didn't even notice these accent lighting over here too. That's cool. Okay, I see you, Antec. Damn. Those crystal RGB strips actually look pretty cool. Let's see what it looks like with the mesh on. Oh yeah, definitely a good choice going with the mesh front panel instead of the old glass. And now we have the final piece. Jesus, that looks so much better. I can see why Antec went with a super dark tint on the side panel. Man, the RGB just pops from that. That looks absolutely beautiful. So much for an anti-RGB build, but you know what? Let me know what you guys think in the comment section. I think it turned out absolutely amazing. Let's turn the lights off actually. So here is what the PC looks like in absolute darkness. I mean, we do have some nano-leaf panels in the back, but yeah, I'm digging this PC build. Alright guys, that is enough of the showcase. Now it's time to jump into the performance portion of the video, which I'm sure a lot of you guys are excited about. I'm going to be comparing the RTX 3080 Ti against the RTX 3080 and the 3090, just so we can see the performance difference between all three cards. I'm going to go ahead and download a bunch of games and programs, and I will see you guys very soon. Alright, first order of business, let's take a look at the temps. So after running the PC on full load for about an hour or so, here is what we are seeing for thermals. On the Heaven benchmark, we are seeing an average of 65 degrees Celsius with peak temps of 70 degrees C on the 5900X. This is more of a realistic test for CPU instead of using a rendering program, because the CPU doesn't ever get utilized 100% while gaming, since games are mostly GPU bound. But if you're curious how the CPU does under full load, then here's a 4K render test using Vegas Pro. We can see the temps averaging and peaking at 76 degrees Celsius. Fairly cool temps for a 12-core 24-thread processor. I think the push and pull fan configuration definitely made a difference here. Alright, moving on to the GPU temps, we got the 3080 Ti idling around 43 degrees Celsius. And after running Heaven benchmark for about 30 minutes or so, we can see the 3080 Ti peaking at 80 degrees C, which is in line with the previous Founders Edition cards. However, the fan noise from the GPU is pretty damn loud as expected. Alright, so how does a 3080 Ti compare to its smaller and bigger brother, the RTX 3080 and the 3090? Well, here are the benchmark numbers for those that have been waiting. Starting off with Godfall, this is a very demanding title, even in 1080p, as you can probably tell from the graphs. We have the 3090 slightly ahead of the 3080 Ti across all the resolutions. However, the gap between the 3080 Ti and 3080 is a lot bigger. We are only looking at less than 5% performance gains between the 3090 and the 3080 Ti across all three resolutions, but the 3080 Ti has a 10% performance gain over the 3080. Things become more obvious as we move on to the Heaven benchmark. Once again, the performance difference between the 3090 and the 3080 Ti are minuscule, barely 5%, which is in the margin of error. But what's more important here is the difference between the 3080 and the 3080 Ti. We are seeing a much bigger gap here across all three resolutions. And finally, we have Rainbow Six Siege running on Vulkan API, which surprisingly did a lot better. We have the 3090 sitting at the top where it belongs, followed closely by the 3080 Ti. But what's interesting here is the gap is substantial between the 3080 Ti and the RTX 3080. And if we look at the total frames, we can see a clear picture of what's going on. For 1080p gaming, the 3090 is only 3% faster than the 3080 Ti, while the 3080 Ti is about 6% faster than the 3080. Moving on to 1440p is where it actually makes more sense, considering this is the resolution most gamers play in using these high-end cards. The 3090 is less than 3% faster than the 3080 Ti, and the 3080 Ti is about 8% faster than the 3080. And finally, we got 4K gaming. Again, we are seeing much of the same story here, with the 3090 being only about 4% faster than its little brother, while the 3080 Ti is a whopping 9% faster than the 3080. To simplify things for you guys, the 3080 Ti is basically a cheaper 3090 if you're looking at strictly gaming performance. I mean, sure, you are losing out on an average of 3 to 5% FPS, but when you compare the prices, you are getting far better value out of the 3080 Ti. There's no point in talking about prices right now since stock is non-existent and prices are all over the place, but the main thing to take away from this video is that if you're deciding between a 3090 and a 3080 Ti, go with the Ti. So aside from the benchmarks, I do want to talk about the actual PC build. Now overall, I really loved working with the Dark Cube case. However, there were only two issues I ran into. The first one being the cutout near the top of the motherboard tray is way too small, and it was very difficult for me to pass through the PCI cables. I wish this was slightly larger. The second issue is the back of the case doesn't really have any cable management support. I would have loved to see a cutout near the top of the motherboard tray to help with routing smaller cables like the front panel cables, the HD audio, and even the USB headers. Other than that, I really love building in this case. It was really fun to work with, and you know what guys, I've decided I'm not going to be taking this apart. This will now be the official office PC. So all the React videos that I do, all the gameplay captures, everything will now be done on this PC. And that is it for today's video. I hope you guys enjoyed it. And if you did, maybe consider tossing a like before you head out, as it does help out the channel a ton. And if you guys haven't enabled notifications yet, make sure to do so because I got some awesome content coming up in the next few days and few weeks. Thank you so much for watching. As always, I'll see you very soon in the next one.